The PlayStation Store's summer sale is wrapping up right now, still a few more days to take advantage of the deals. I did a video of games under $10, but I want to do a video of all of the games above that price threshold, and there's a lot of good stuff available, and also, there were so many good deals that instead of just going over 10, I decided to bump it up to 15 because there's a lot of good stuff. I'll try to blitz through the games a little bit quicker, though. Doom Eternal is my first recommendation. It is 50% off for $30. Look, Doom 2016 is down to $6, so if you've yet to play that, maybe start off with that, see how you like it, and then graduate to Eternal, and maybe it'll be cheaper by the time you decide to pick it up. But $30 for Doom Eternal is really good. I think it was one of the strongest games of 2020 thus far. I just think it's a visceral first-person shooter that really excels at a gameplay front. Multiplayer still isn't the standout component of the game, but the single player is excellent, so I would give it a recommendation on that front. It is a high-quality title. Next up, we have Final Fantasy VII Remake. $39.59 for this one. It is 34% off. You guys know how I feel about Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think it was an incredible game. Yes, it's only a little bit of the Final Fantasy VII story, but it does it so well. Visuals are stunning. They are clearly expanding the content of the game where they can flesh out a lot of stuff, and really thinking about the little bits of Final Fantasy VII Remake, like once they get to some of the content, man, they could really flesh some stuff out. Like, can you imagine what they can do with Vincent? That still, like, kind of bugs me out. They could really go all in. Vincent can get his own game outside of Dirge of Cerberus. Nevertheless, let's not talk too much about that. $39.59 for Final Fantasy VII Remake is awesome. Action-oriented, great visual, story is compelling. Obviously, there are some changes, and it looks like Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to go in a different direction in the future, but still very much excited for where it goes, and this game was fantastic. Give it a look. Batman Arkham Collection, that is Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, as well as Arkham Knight with all of the post-launch content. $15, that is a freaking great deal. Batman Arkham Knight is my least favorite of the three, but it's still an excellent game. Arkham Asylum is excellent, and I thought Arkham City was the best of the three games. This is much like BioShock Infinite, where, you know, me saying Batman Arkham Knight isn't the best game, that's not saying much because these three games are at such a high level, much like when I say BioShock 2 is my least favorite. That really doesn't say anything because these three games are so good. Can't wait to see what Warner Brothers Montreal is going to do with Batman, but as far as Arkham, Rocksteady knocked it out of the park, and if you've yet to play these games, or you want to revisit Asylum and City, now would be a great time to do so at just $15. Next up, Dying Light the Following Enhanced Edition is down to $11.99. I think this game is excellent. It was one of the early games released on the PlayStation 4, but one of the first truly great games. The Following Enhanced Edition adds quite a bit of content, and it expands the game a bit, and $12 for it is great. Obviously, Dying Light 2 is on the horizon. That is shaping up to be really great, and probably going to be a considerable step up from Dying Light 1, but the first game was great. We already know how good it was, so reserve judgment on 2 because obviously it's not out yet, but $12 for the first game is great. If you're looking to get into Kingdom Hearts, look no further than Kingdom Hearts All-in-One Package. Even though it says All-in-One Package, it does not have everything Kingdom Hearts related. It has 1.5, 2.5, 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, and Kingdom Hearts 3. Look, that is a ton of content. The only thing it's missing is the Remind DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3, but that is like $25 to $30, so it's not like that is a freebie DLC that is super cheap. No, but this still has so many hours of gameplay. Kingdom Hearts 1 hasn't aged the best. Kingdom Hearts 2 still plays pretty well. Birth by Sleep is solid. 2.8 with Dream Drop Distance. That's good. You've got a standalone bit in there as well. And Kingdom Hearts 3, while I wasn't the biggest fan of it, and the story, you know, the Kingdom Hearts story, it goes a little bit off the deep end, but you still got to enjoy it for all of the iconic characters that are represented in Kingdom Hearts, and $30 for all that content. If you're a first-time Kingdom Hearts player, or maybe you haven't played the games in a long time, pick this one up. You can refresh yourself or explore it for the first time. Alright, next up, I do want to give a shout to Final Fantasy XIV Online Complete Edition. It is $30. Now, yes, there's been a lot of buzz regarding the Final Fantasy XIV free trial. That is like an amazing free trial. It gets you all the content of the base game and Heaven's Ward. Heaven's Ward is where it starts to get really freaking great. And then Online Complete Edition would give you all of that, and then on top of that, you would get the Stormblood expansion as well as Shadowbringers. Shadowbringers is incredible, and the narrative to these games is like as strong as a mainline Final Fantasy game. It's literally that good. Square Enix has been incredibly committed to it. Yes, it's an MMO, so it's got a monthly fee, But Square Enix has remained incredibly committed to updating the game and offering compelling new content every month, so a patch just actually dropped for the game that added quite a bit and robusted the experience. If you're eyeing an MMO to try, or you're open to the idea of an MMO, maybe just try out the trial first, see how you like it. It is a bit of a grind just like every other MMO, but ultimately it becomes such a compelling experience with great music, great boss fights, and everything in between. Next up, if you're looking for a high-quality co-op game, I would recommend World War Z to you. It is 60% off for $11.99. World War Z is a game that is great to play with friends. Saber Interactive was incredibly good to this game as well, because they threw out a lot of free updates and things of that nature, making the game much better than what it was initially at. And the game itself started at a pretty good level, but then it got better and better, and for 12 bucks, I think it's a great buy. But I would recommend you that this is a game that you should pick up if a couple of your friends are picking it up as well, because that's really how you're going to get the best experience out of it. Nevertheless, it is a great game, and for 12 bucks, I think it's a good buy. Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, 67% off for $19.79. SOTR is a game that I think is my least favorite of the 3 Tomb Raider games. However, once you throw in the Definitive Edition and it comes with all of the DLC, a lot of the content that maybe you could argue should have been in the game from the first place, it becomes a really robust experience with a decent bit of content as well. So I wanted to give this a mention because it's not $60 anymore. It's just down to $19.79 with all of the additional content. I think this is a good buy, especially if you're a fan of action-adventure titles. You're going to have a good time with that one, even if the narrative isn't the strongest in the world. Next up, GreedFall is $19.99, and you actually save an extra 5% if you're a PS Plus subscriber. Figure that one out. But 20 bucks for GreedFall I think is really good. Is GreedFall an amazing RPG? No, not necessarily, but I thought Spiders made a really good RPG, and a really competent one as well. I've said it before about Spiders, but man, they're really developing into one of the better studios in all of gaming, and what I like to see out of them is the fact that every single one of their games is getting better and better. Technomancer wasn't the best, had an interesting premise, but then they put out GreedFall. GreedFall is a considerably better game than that, and they're working on a new RPG that the exact name of it escapes me right now, but that one has a very interesting premise, and I hope it turns out well. GreedFall, on the other hand, if you're looking for an RPG that's good in just about every area, maybe not amazing in any of those categories, GreedFall really fits the bill on that end, and I think you guys will enjoy it. Alright, next up, Kingdom Come Deliverance Royal Edition is 50% off for $19.99. Another RPG, this one very realistic, very historic. It's a good one. I think KCD is quite underrated, and the Royal Edition comes with all of the additional content, so that's great. Do expect an RPG that's a little bit more hardcore, a little bit more on the realistic side, just bear that in mind. But it's a great game, and one that doesn't get a lot of buzz these days, so I wanted to give that a shout. $19.99 for it, I think, is a great pickup. Metro Exodus, out of nowhere, it seemingly has gotten cheaper and cheaper, but it is 65% off for $14. So I'd often complain that this game was on Xbox Game Pass, and we were relegated to, you know, paying a premier price. But now for $14, this is a great buy. Another game, much like the Batman titles, I don't enjoy Exodus as much as Last Light or, what's the other one? Metro 2033, that name escaped me for a second. But Exodus is a good game in its own right, and if you want an atmospheric first-person shooter, that's exactly what you're going to get here, and for $14, I think it's a pretty good buy. Next up, Persona Dancing Endless Night Collection is $22. If you love the Persona music, you're going to really enjoy this game. It's got Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight, Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight, and Persona 4 Dancing All Night, which was a PlayStation Vita game, and I believe this is the only way you can get that one. Music Rhythm Persona title, it's pretty good, it's pretty quirky. Obviously, you have to be into Persona, as it is a little bit off the wall, but overall, I thought it was a good Music Rhythm title. Next up, The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel, 40% off for $24. If you know me, you know how high I am on this JRPG franchise. Some of the best world building that you are going to get out of a JRPG, it is just superb on that end. Yes, the first game starts off a little bit slow, but halfway through, man, does it pick up, and then it has one of the best endings for a first part that really sets the table for the second part, and then in the second part, you're just off to the races, and it's guns blazing with that one. But the first half of Trails of Cold Steel is still really good. It's just a lot of character development, some more, charming moments, and some more light-hearted moments, but it's still good. The character interactions are great, and for $24, I think this is a solid pickup. Mega Man Zero ZX Legacy Collection, 25% off, $22.49. This includes 0, 1 through 4, and ZX Advent. 0, 1 through 4 are incredibly challenging. ZX Advent are great games that are more so Metroidvania-style games, and I wish we got a ZX3, but for this collection, you get 6 games for $22.49. You can't go wrong with it, and it's a great pickup. And lastly, Tetris Effect is 50% off for $20. Amazing music in this game. While it's the fundamental Tetris gameplay you know and love, coupled with the incredible presentation and the great music, This is superb, and if you have PlayStation VR, even better, because this is one of the best VR experiences that you're going to come across for $20. I think it's an excellent pickup, so definitely give that one a look. Okay, so we got that done in relatively short fashion. Wanted to get through all of them in a time period where it didn't take up your entire day, but a lot of great deals are available. Summer sale is wrapping up here, but you still have till August 20th to pick up your deals and pick up the games that you're looking for. I think these 15 are all really good, even though some of them are a bit pricey. I think they are all worth the money they're asking for. So that's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.